Appreciate that. FD Nub BL1F.
Yes.
It's as close as I'm going to get there. So I like calling you Ula. That's a little bit easier. So let's stick with that. Okay. Anyways, good to have you back here. So we got our next series, final series here. Draft is well underway, so let's start getting into that here. Magebane, Salamon, Magnus, and Dr. Repulsor are the bands. We get Warbeast into Behemoth, Rhapsody into Midas, and there's Parasite now coming out for ECX. So anything standing out to you so far about these drafts here?
Yeah, the blind bands. It shows that both of the teams really have made their research because, as we all, or I guess we all know that Imbaboy loves his Doctor Repulsor, going those Nymph Doctor, Tundra kind of lineups, take over the map, gank everywhere. So Imba Pingu smartly banned out that, and the Salomon. Imbaboy also loves that hero. And then from Imbaboy, he banned out the Magebane. It's not a conventional like first ban, but as we saw, Imba Pingu really loves that hero, and he played it really well the last series, so they're afraid of that. And the Mag is one of Tassie's favorite heroes as well, playing the initiator role of WOP Dash.
Okay.
And then the picks, just Warbeast, like there, since there was like unconventional blind bans, a lot of strong heroes are left open. So obviously Warbeast being one of those. And then Behemoth and Midas, they're really strong. Set up stuns and burst magic damage. Strong teamfight presence as well. Rhapsody also another solid, just going, pushing with the Warbeast, Abyssal Skull obviously, and Parasite with the Catapult. And then the Gladiator, just for, it's gonna be really hard for Imbaboy or ECX team to push WOP Dash high ground when they're against Gladiator, Midas, Behemoth. All three of those, just having one of those heroes in a team makes it hard to go high ground. Having three, we might be into going in for a long game here.
Could definitely draw out here. I could see that for sure. So that perhaps some kind of idea with WOP Dash. You know, with that in mind, you'd figure that they're going to look to get a pretty hard carry here, a carry that scales very well into the late game and give him a lot of time to eventually become scary. Now, the following bands, Dark Liddy, Prisoner, Silhouette Kraken, Scout, and Oogie. So, ECX takes care of a couple of those. Even Scout. Scout's a hero that we've actually seen a lot lately as a carry choice. So, not going to give them that option here.
No.
See what ECX does.
Yeah. It's going to be hard for WOP Dash to find that carry. Maybe they have something in mind already, but I would be surprised if ECX didn't ban that, since they banned like almost every carry. So we'll see what the WOP Dash can come up with. Obviously, Behemoth, Midas, and Gladiator are all strong late game heroes, so maybe they don't need to get that super hard carry, and they can still do fine late game. But they get the Sand Wraith, which is a very strong late game hero.
Wow.
And the Vindicator to counter that. Yeah, but the Vindicator obviously is good against Sand Wraith and all of the other heroes. Since the ultimate of Vindicator can cancel both Behemoth, so he can't jump in. Midas as well, gonna be two PK heroes. And Sand Wraith can't jump in from his ultimate, so that's going to be a huge teamfight presence. And the Pebbles on Matthias.
Yeah, I mean, you saw that, like, right away the Vindicator was picked up. It's almost like Imbaboy was baiting them into picking up Sandwraith, the way he just snap-picked Vindicator, expecting it. So, yeah, and it works out very well as you're getting at. They are going to final pick an Empath, and, of course, there's that decent synergy there with her and Sandwraith. But Imbaboy going to be playing Vindicator. This will be fun, seeing a carry Vindicator.
Oh, wow.
Not something we see often, so.
Looks like that.
Yeah, that's something else to it.
I'm kind of scared if I was ECX, though, because if Matthias doesn't go, he is obviously a very good, skilled individual player, but if he doesn't go crazy here, I would be afraid if I was ECX going into the late game. Yeah. Because if you look at the Hellborn side, it's just 5 good late game heroes. It's going to be really hard. And it's hard to push against them as well. So they can, maybe WOP Dash can grind out this game. If it's going to get rough in the early game against Matthias Pebbles, maybe they could just base Turtle and grind this game out.
Yeah, that'll be again. That seems like that'll be the idea here from WOP Dash. But again, going back to the Vindicator, so it makes a lot of sense since you're getting with the ultimate being good against heroes like Behemoth, the Sand Wraith especially. But it being ran in this carry role, when we have kind of seen Vindicator pop up here and there, it does seem like we've seen him more in the support role instead. So not a whole lot of examples that we've gotten to see him in this hard carry role. So excited to see how this works for Imbo Boy. But another big thing, with this being is, I guess this wouldn't really matter the role, but the ultimate's good, but his Q's actually, the Sage's Lore being a disarm now even against heroes like Sand Wraith could come into use as well throughout the game. So, yeah, intrigued to see how this Vindicator works. So, well, we're in a little bit of a pause here. Vindicator kind of speculating some item build potential. I mean, what would make sense to you as far as what he goes initially, like as far as the first core item?
First core item, I think it's going to be some build up like Tablet, maybe Sacrificial Stone if they're looking to push early. They want to get some team items rolling, maybe the Astrolabe on Chowley here playing the Rhapsody, or Abyssal Skull on Warbeast and just go 5-man pretty much. But after the initial Tablet or Sac Stone, he's probably gonna get the Resto Stone, because that's just such a huge item for Vindicator. It's like if you go the hard carry of Vindicator, so to say, I think it's like you want to get it's just you just want to get the Resto earlier than so it fills the same role in a way as the support Vindicator. It's just that you're gonna get a faster Resto Stone.
Okay.
And that has just such a huge teamfight impact. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Resto Stone straight after. Maybe a Hellflower, because I've seen him pick that up. So Hellflower or Resto Stone after the initial Tablet. That's also very good against Behe, and because you can Tablet away from the Midas combo. We're going to see some Behe stuns into Midas combos, and those are very lethal. So having a Tablet is really good against that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, again, going to be interesting to see what Immo Boy playing the Vindicator here decides to go for. So it's fair to say, I think an obvious weakness of a hero like Vindicator is kind of, I mean, when it comes to like flash farming, I guess he's all right at it. The Sage's Lore does provide that potential, but it's maybe not necessarily like some other carries, or if he's not going to be getting that Thunderclaw or something like that, then again his farm's going to be a little bit hurt from that. Like, I guess he's not going to be able to race like the Sand Wraith here. Once Sand Wraith gets the Mock of Brilliance, ideally Sand Wraith should start pulling ahead of gold per minute, it feels like, depending on a lot of other factors, of course. But if it's just straight up farm, I believe that would be the case there. So,
but it's also a matter of Sand Wraith having to carry this game on his own, or he has a lot of team fight, but he's gonna be the hard late game carry. But on the Legion side, we do have the Warbeast, and he's gonna even the Pebbles and the Warbeast are gonna put the dash in a lot of physical damage, and that's gonna help through the late game. So I don't think it's the same pressure on Vindicator to just go nuts with 600 GPM, because the other 4 or 3 heroes of ECX, the Pebbles, Warbeast, and Parasite, they're gonna be farming a lot as well. So he does not have to really shoot away in this GPM in the GPM charts.
Makes sense there. So, yeah, Pebbles, big focus. Matthias, again, the one playing it here. It's definitely comfortable there for EVO Corporation. And Zane on Warbeast. Another thing that, it's maybe been a little bit since we've actually really seen, but Zane does have that history, obviously, of being a laning Warbeast. And going for that here. So, look at the top lane. We got Pseudo Tri-Lane coming out here from ECX, sure enough. They are going to go aggressive, actually. Going to apply some pressure to Sand Wraith up here. As is Gladiator, he's not planning on jungling, you think, is he? He's probably just going to be roaming here.
He can do both. It depends. I've seen Cookies jungle Glad. If they go Suicide Warbeast in this case, if they would go that, he could just go jungle with the Empath. But he's probably going to look, since they're manning up 3 people, he's probably going to be very active early on, not farming that much, just trying to help the Sand Wraith top. But I think it's going to be really hard for WOP Dash here to win this top lane, with the Sand Wraith being one of the weakest laners. They don't really have a setup stun for the Gladiator Pitfall. And obviously Pebbles, Rhapsody, Parasite is a really strong pseudo tri-lane. So I think this is good coming out from ECX. Also, one thing worth to note is Behemoth has boots mid. So he was like, he was thinking they were gonna go Rhapsody, Pebbles mid, and now he's gonna suffer because he has boots instead of Buckler and Hatchet. So he can't really last it.
Yeah, and he's up against a Vindicator who you think is going to be able to harass him pretty well, especially once Vindicator levels up that W, the Master's Incantation. Of course, allowing him to freely harass without aggroing the creeps onto him. So, nice idea there that, you know, that we'll see Imba look to go for here sooner or later. So, yeah, it could be a tough time. You got Gladiator off to the side. Look at that, though. It's going to be stolen by Rhapsody. Well played. Takes the Wolf Commander. At least Gladiator will get a little bit of a laugh there as takes off the mana potion, but still, good job here at the top lane. But yeah, top lane, definitely the place where a lot of potential action is going to be up here.
Yeah.
Of course, having 3 versus 3, so Gladiator.
At the same time, I think WOP is going to play really passive in this lane because they know they can't really kill anyone. Oh, at the same time, they're going for Rhapsody.
And as you say that, they're going in, actually. Rhapsody, oh, he gets hit by the Pitfall barely. Is this going to be our Bloodlust? Yes, it is. Bloodlust kill in favor. Empath actually picking it up right there for WOP Dash. So, right as you're talking
really
about
surprising.
that. Yeah, and actually Parasite.
Parasite.
He's in a lot of trouble here. The Pitfall, oh, it's just going to be a little bit late. It still gets him out of the creep, though. But now Pebbles going in, and this might backfire. So the bait's real. Gladiator goes down. Pebbles having a run from Sandwraith here. And that should be the end of the exchange, yeah. 1 for 1, ultimately.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised Rhapsody getting caught out of position there. Pebbles didn't even use any of his spells. He just completely abandoned Rhapsody right off the bat. So that was kind of surprising, though.
Yeah.
Because looking at the lane, I really feel like ECX should be able to pull ahead here and get the favorable trades. Well, mid lane, though, Vindicator doing really well against this Behemoth.
Yeah. Again, especially with the item build, not really surprised. Imba
no.
Definitely taking advantage of that. Him going the boots first. So, if you're Behemoth here, is it even worth like maybe getting a buckler as the game, or is it just like, okay, what's done is done, get a bottle here as soon as possible and just move on?
Yeah, I think he's gonna pretty much abandon the lane. Like he's gonna be there obviously, but he's not gonna look to win the lane. He's probably gonna try to get some rotations off. And as I said, that Orbis dice.
Yeah, not too sure. I guess Gladiator just roaming down here, kind of catching it as he died. So, yeah, just hit the pitfall, I'm sure, and maybe caught Zane off guard.
Yeah.
At the bottom, so well played there.
When I think about Rome, I talk about Rome, I think of Cookies like instantly. He's one of the guys who actually makes it work in high-level games and just roam around, getting the kills, important kills on especially Gladiator. It's like his signature hero. So, kind of surprised E6 didn't ban that.
Yeah,
Sandwraith, I saw.
And Gladiator really is so good at that. Obviously, he's got the long range. You see right here, the showdown to bring him right back into an easy Midas combo. And is this going to be another dead Orbeez? It is. He goes down again. So that's for praising Gladiator. Sure enough, he comes through again, rolling back to the bottom lane. So, yeah, he's having very high impact now as he sets up a kill there. So, but yeah, as you saw, Sandwraith did die at the top lane as well, though. So maybe not as good as I thought there initially.
I guess, yeah, I think E6 is going to pull ahead simply because their lane top is so much stronger. They're even going to get the tower here 4 minutes in. That's really crazy.
Yes, Pebbles Rhapsody is not like a extreme push lane, but yeah, getting the tower kill, 4.5 minutes really. Very, very early tower kill. So Pebbles 380 gold per minute all of a sudden. He's well on that way to getting a portal key. Obviously still plenty of time, but very good start to say the least. So that's where this whole roaming supports here. It's, again, the idea is decent and it's set up some kills, but in hindsight, was it really the most effective, seeing as your Sandwraith died, they pushed top lane. Behemoth
mid lane
is going to fall as well. Yeah, Parasite, he kind of came in there the last second, sure helped with that, but Vindicator doing a lot of the damage, to be fair.
Yeah.
We saw there, so. But I guess getting at that, I mean, Yeah, so has this roaming, so did they really do what they should have done, going bottom, you think, or should they maybe have stuck top?
I don't know. I was pointing out earlier that the lane top for WOP Dash is really weak with the sand wraith. I don't really see them doing that much, so I guess they kind of had to. They were like forced to leave that lane because they can't really do anything with their picks. I was thinking that maybe Behemoth was gonna go suicide from the start, and then he could stay up top, so they had 4 heroes and they could contest this. But since he went mid, and he has to stay mid, and it's gonna be hard for WOP Dash now. But Sandwraith pulled the lane back now, so he's farming comfortably now top lane, so I guess that's fine. And they actually rotated Warbeast to top, so maybe they're trying to do some switch up here.
Yeah, it looks like it. Pebbles is now bottom lane, really, and actually Midas is caught here, too. He tried to Elemental Warp. Good job with the Staccato, though, and then the silence on top of that, obviously from the Totem. So, yeah, these swaps happening, and they also get a pick on a Midas in the process. So, what seemed like a decent start here, actually, for WOP Dash is kind of now falling apart a little bit. ECX, and it could be more, in fact. Gladiator, he's on the run. You're going to see a poor man's portal key. Chuck not even really necessary. He just used it to guarantee the kill. Does Matthias. So, yeah, him getting credit for that. All of a sudden, 1,000 more gold saved up here. It's now getting really ugly for WOP Dash this early on in the game, unfortunately.
Yeah, Matthias is so sick on this hero. I saw him get the level 6, and then he leveled up his ultimate, actually, to get the extra cast range on Stalagmites, and it just could catch the Gladiator off guard there, or like on the edge. So he has played this hero a little bit too much, maybe.
Yeah, this is definitely one of his, you could probably argue his go-to, really, his #1 played, at least in tournament play. Now, here we see the bottom lane final chapter was used, though, right after Sandworth. I don't even think he had got to port in if you wanted to. Gladiator goes down. We do see Midas down, falling as well. Pebbles staying alive, but probably going to get picked off unless some way, somehow. Okay, the Shockwave will guarantee that. Man, it looked like for a second he could have maybe squeaked out of there, but wasn't to be. He does get picked off there. Like I said, though, Sandwraith, as soon as he ultimated, we heard the final chapter coming out, so I don't know if he had a chance to actually port to his illusion.
Yeah, it's that's why the Vindicator is so strong against Sandwraith, and those type of heroes, that PK heroes as well. Really good counter initiation, just gaining momentum.
If you're Vindicator here, like, is that all you're using your ultimate for? Like, you're just simply responding to Sandwraith?
I guess it's just a tool to win team fight. Like, you have to know if you want to use it when Sandwraith ults, or if you want to wait for the potential canceling Behemoth ultimate.
Yeah.
So you have to know in the team fight if you want to cancel the Sandwraith from porting in, but obviously that was a gank, so they relied on Sandwraith porting in there, so then it was good job by Imbaboy to notice that and just cancel the Sandwraith. But in 5-on-5 fights, when Sandwraith is already there, maybe, you could opt to cancel the Behe instead.
Okay.
Or Midas, yeah.
This adjustment especially, ever since that's really happened, it just seems like ECX is very, very capitalized off of this very well. Obviously, you know, pushing to the top tower too helped with that decision and made it work out very well. You see Imbaboy, he gets delivered a Grave Locket as well as upgraded boots, so he's got a lot of build up here early on. And going to apply some decent pressure to Behemoth there in the process too. But yeah, so still don't know exactly what he's going for just yet, but you mentioned the tablet. Seems like probably would expect that.
Probably going to be the Ring of the Teacher probably tells it's going to be Gnomes, though. And it's a really good pickup against all of the magic damage on the Hellborn team.
True.
And just being able to go 5 with the Aura and the Warbeast W, it's going to be good for tower pushes, etc., which I think they're going to do as soon as Pebbles get his PK. They're probably going to look to get a pick off and then start pushing a lane.
You see Behemoth there just showing his displeasure with that disarm. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Midas, he thought he was being sneaky, maybe setting up for an eventual kill themselves, but he was seen, unfortunately, by Parasite and, well, this Ward of Sight even. So good job collapsing onto him, getting the free kill, and Pebbles 1,100 gold saved up. Now we can pretty much be sure that that portal key is coming next here. And thus, it's going to be coming up pretty quickly now. Another couple of minutes, it feels like. the way he's going.
Yeah,
So.
Parasite going for the puzzle box as well. He just purchased the 1650 gold intelligence item. And yeah, the Legion team, I just feel like the game is looking now, it's going to be really, really hard for WOP Dash to stop the timing that E6 is going to hit here pretty soon with the Pebbles PK, the puzzle box, and the Gnomes on Vindicator. It's going to be a lot of team items and just good mid-game solid heroes. So we're going to have to look for the B heals, I guess, because Tassi is farming really, really well, even though he had only boots mid. So he's going to have the PK here soon.
Yeah, that's really impressive, actually. Now you mentioned that, that's definitely unexpected. Middle lane, Midas, unfortunately, you see right there, it's so much lockdown on heroes like a Midas who relies on being able to use Elemental Warp to get away, of course, but between the stuns and especially the silence from Vindicator, he just did not have any time to react right there. So again, great catch by Evo Corporation on him. But yeah, going back to Behemoth, the fact that he has his portal key in 11.5 minutes is really unexpected. And only having one kill and then the one death on top of that even. So yeah, it really is impressive farm actually that he's managed to get here. And he has it now, so as you pointed out, that's going to be huge. Maka Brilliance, it's still a little bit away. 1,800 gold saved up on Sand Wraith. He did upgrade boots first, of course, and bottles on top of that. So he spent a little bit of gold here for the build-up, but that Mach is coming up next. Here comes a Veiled Rot Behemoth middle, by the way.
Ooh.
They're going to go for the Shockwave opening, the immediate kill. Very, very good burst there. How about that?
Yeah.
Using the portal key right away. That was very
pretty
smart.
sick, the Chowley here on the Rhapsody, porting the exact same fraction of a second he ult is Imboboy, trying to save him, but obviously it's too much damage, as he's going to be in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, wow, yeah, he got too curious. He ends up going down, so a couple of picks just like that in favor of WOP Dash here. Now, ECX, however, they're still standing strong in this fight. They get the one kill. Nice call to arms coming through, but Gladiator, I think, is going to have to fall back from it. So at least they get a pick on it. Sure enough, Midas, who's had a little bit of a struggle here in this game one. But overall, not too bad for WOP Dash. They got out of it.
Oh, it's still anyone's game, but it's looking as E6 is looking very strong here. Only gonna do some fun things here with the Hellhound scouting. That's actually a good thing to point out.
Yeah.
The Warbeast scout just finding B here.
One more auto attack, yeah. Scout with double damage, no chance.
Yeah, just the these are the kind of things you have to get used to when you start playing competitive games, because WOP Dash, they're not the most experienced team. Not to take anything away from them, but it's definitely a different style of HON compared to those pub games. Like with the Warbeast scouting, you don't really, in Team M, you don't really see the Warbeast scouting into the Pebbles trying to find pickoffs. Like that's hard to get adjusted to, and it's not really something most players see from just watching the ECX lineup, but looking at the E6 lineup, but it's definitely a strong tool to get those pickoffs.
Well, it's almost like, it's kind of like the, if there's like a Tundra on their side, you maybe be a little more realizing like, okay, they could be jumping us, they could be seeing us when maybe we don't expect it. But yeah, Warbeast, the Hellhounds, you usually don't think that. I can understand why, but as you're pointing out, as we saw right there, at this level of play, these Warbeast players will definitely be using it for that purpose, and sure enough, the hunt was successful. Bottom lane, big fight coming out right here. Shockwave opening on a Vindicator. Not enough initially. He does get the final chapter off, but it was pretty late in the fight, honestly. Vindicator goes down right here. Pebbles, he's also in trouble. Yes, he too is going to fall, and it ends up being a 2-for-0 in favor of WOP Dash. So the most significant thing is they're able to get the lockdown onto Vindicator and eventually kill him before he can really do anything in these fights. And that's thanks to Behemoth with the portal key, really. Yeah,
Behemoth even though he gets the one-man ulti, people could argue that it's kind of bad, but he's just killing. He just knows what heroes he should go for, and killing the Vindicator without him getting any spells off. That's so huge for the WOP Dash team. That's actually got the top tower and looking to get the bottom tower, and they're not in a bad spot at the moment, especially since they're the better late. I don't know. I guess it's hard to say, but I would say if Sandwraith starts snowballing, WOP Dash is going to have a nice time in the late game with that Sandwraith having a lot of items.
Yeah, it is a little strange to me that kind of looking up at the stats here and to see ECX still up 2,000 gold, 3,000 experience, it feels like after that fight, losing 2 towers, that there was surely going to be a lead for WOP Dash. But ECX, I guess that just shows you, how much I believe they did have, and maybe how spread out their farm is and how good that is working for them. It is definitely the advantage that they still have here. But yeah, you got Sandwraith now. The Mock of Brilliance is finished, and that's of course a scary mark here if you're this leader team. But look at ECX at the same time. They are going to group up bottom lane right away and just push it again. Get the tower kill.
If they get greedy here, this is also something that can be scary if you don't get the exact timing, because they maybe think the Behemoth ult is down because he used it last fight, but it's up in 10 seconds. And the same for Sandwraith Mock, that's the Sandwraith ult that's up in 10 seconds. He has a Mock, so if they try to push this bottom tower, being only 4 with the Warbeast farming top lane, it can be very potent. Just they just think the ults are down, but they're not really. It looks like WOP Dash not even trying to defend. That's really curious to me.
Yeah.
Since they won the last fight, and it was pretty much the same. They had the same chance, or
the same situation.
Even better now.
Yeah.
Yeah, same situation.
Yeah,
Behemoth getting scouted.
Well, so that's what I was going to say. I wonder if a lot of that had to do with them keeping on pushing, and that they saw Behemoth at the last second over here, so they realized, okay, with him not being there, they have a better chance. And speaking of Behemoth, he is going to be comboed down. So yeah, again, that's the Hellhound though. Zane was sitting on top of him with the Hellhound, and sure enough, they get the easy kill as a result. So man, they're all of a sudden up 5,600 gold. Like, it feels like WOP Dash had a huge fight. Not only a minute and a half, 2 minutes ago, yet all of a sudden this lead for ECX grows even bigger.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, they just WOP Dash are focusing to farm on the Sandwraith, but obviously ECX is just good at spreading out the farm. Like, Warbeast has been top the last 17 minutes pretty much, or like since they swapped lanes, Warbeast has just been farming, and WOP Dash team has been trying to find those pickoffs. And if you're trying actively to find pickoffs on a hero like Behemoth or Midas, you just essentially waste the precious farm time. So if you end up like getting scouted by the Hellhounds like Behemoth did, and he was trying to look for a kill maybe 2 minutes that he was not farming, and that hurts your team so much when ECX was just farming up to the second they ported mid and just got a kill on him. So that's really big.
See Pebbles down here. You got the Hellhounds again. They are trying to maybe find somebody down here, but not going to be the case. So instead, we'll just fall back. I do wonder, I don't know if you'd have insight on this, but like, do you know if Zane is the one actually controlling the Hellhounds, or maybe did he share control with perhaps Pebbles to kind of use them as wars? Like, would that be possible, or do you think Zane's the one controlling these?
Yeah, I'm. In my team, we have a really good Warbeast player, not the best, but he controls the wolves himself. But I could definitely see saying he's a high caliber player though, so he's definitely capable of controlling those Hellhounds as well as the hero.
Okay.
But I don't know. It can definitely be possible.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me if that
they're
would be a
gonna find
good
God
idea.
here with the Hellhounds.
Are they? They know he went in here.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Oh, come on.
Oh.
They had to have seen it. He exposed.
Yeah, no.
They definitely see him now. Okay. Meanwhile, middle lane, Empath goes down, obviously, so that's another pick off there. And just like that, 2 heroes dead, and so they say, let's go to Kongor.
Yeah, they're just spending like a fraction of the time WOP is spending on setting up those kills, and they're just finding them. Meanwhile, WOP is just trying to set up, like they're just getting picked off when they're not farming, and it's really showing in the gold graph here. Just those Hellhounds with that kind of impact. As Behemoth is trying to hide up here in the top lane. It feels like they should learn their lesson soon, getting scouted like at least 2-3 kills here, going the way of E6 because of those Hellhounds.
There we go. That's Kongor. But yeah, so you think Bound Eye would be pretty good here on the Hellborn side?
Yeah, Bound Eye just try to farm as much as possible. Like, Oh, they're going top.
Oh, they're going to get a War Beast, and yes, it is a kill. You see, Final Chapter was not used that time. I think Samwraith might have been very quick to get in there. So
Yeah, he's definitely aware of that now. Yeah, but there it pays off, but still, like, the gold, I guess they gained a bit of gold, but just more Behemoth just waiting there. It's a lot of farm.
Oh, back to the middle lane, by the way. Pebbles, he's going to nearly die now. He has a token alive, so they do get a kill on a Gladiator. And Midas is trying to secure. Oh, he missed the Lion's Pride, though, or the Golden Salvo, even, and he will fall. Vindicator actually did ultimate right there. That was a very late Final Chapter, but maybe also was just expecting more to come. So, but Pebbles did live, and so he still has a token. 4 minutes. By the way, giving the token to Pebbles, that's also kind of interesting.
He's the guy that's gonna go in though. So Imbaboy, I guess he should be afraid of getting jumped, so he have to stay back. But Onmi or Matthias is the guy that's gonna jump in and really go deep, and is the guy that they're probably gonna try to kill when he jumps that deep.
Yeah.
So he might be looking for a toss back here, but we'll see. The Sandrith will cancel his PK. He's going really hard.
Oh, well, they got the tower, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he might be in a bit of trouble if they choose to go for him. It looks like not.
Nah, I mean, they do know Behemoth, obviously Shockwave down, he got Samwraith ulti down, so I'm sure ECX was definitely aware of that at least. Granted, they didn't have Final Chapter, but yeah, still a little more confidence. So yeah, they get the tower kill, token used, but you could say it was a good use for sure to get that.
As far as the item progression, E6 are getting the shrunken heads. Of course, looking at the Hellborn lineup, it's a lot of magic damage across the board. Sandwraith is a lot of magic damage. Gladiator, Behemoth, Midas, Empath, all of them are almost. I guess Sandwraith is arguably like. Oh, I see Altus bottom lane.
Yeah, they do catch Pebbles. He was trying to port out actually at that split second, and sure enough, they get him before he does.
The mid tower going down as well.
Well, nice couple of
it's a lot.
Things happening.
Yeah, that's a good gold swing. But yeah, they definitely want their shrunken heads on E6 side. I think on Matthias is gonna get the shrunken as well, looking as he has saved 3,700 gold. And then Vindicator and Warbeast as well, getting the shrunken heads just because of the sheer amount of magic damage. Midas now has his portal key, so that's good. Yeah, so Parasite getting the Soul's Bulwark as well. Good, another good team item.
Yeah, the puzzle
Looking
box.
pretty solid here.
Puzzle box
Sandwith
3.
Yeah, it's a huge team fight item. I would like to see. Feels like when E6 finish up those Shrunkens, maybe they should just go mid, because there's no tower, and I think they should be able to win that fight if they get a good jump. Maybe they could scout it out with the Warbeast Hounds, since the tower is down and the WOP dash doesn't have any counter wards on the high ground, but we'll see.
Man, having the 3 shrunken heads all of a sudden appearing here on the Legion side, that is going to be huge. And we are just about there. In fact, there's a 1 on Warbeast. Pebbles, again, we're expecting that he's going to get his here. Now he has enough for it. There we go. And Vindicator is the last one. He just needs the pattern here of 1,300. So, yeah, they're all of a sudden going to go from 0 to 3 shrunken heads. Just like that. And yeah, as you're pointing out, it seems like that's a pretty good spot to then try to force some fights here.
Yeah.
Having that
3 10-second Shrunkens, so it's going to be huge in the fights.
Yeah. I just saw, I think, yeah, Gladiator actually getting an Alchemist Bones to deal with Parasite here.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's fine. It's kind of good to combo with the ultimate, since you take 50% of the damage instantly, and then the rest as the dot, so that's nice. Sandwraith probably looking to pick up the Resto Stone, because then he can actually port in if he wants to, if Vindicator, even though if Vindicator times his ultimate good, Sandwraith can still port in on the second Resto usage, so... Or I guess he could do it fast on the first one, but... just secures it, and it's a lot of magic damage as well, so...
Yeah, gonna have to be fast with that again. We saw in the very beginning of the game, Imbaboy was quick to stop him from doing so, but kind of learning his lesson. Behemoth, they're going to try to come up. What a save from Charlie right there. Prevented some good damage. The final chapter does come out. Vindicator, he's going to live, actually. He finally goes down, but it took a while. And he ends up helping with at least the 1 kill on a Behemoth. Now, Sandwraith, he actually escapes from there. That's big. So that is a successful gank in the end from WOP Dash, certainly, but that was almost set up to be a turn there onto them. But yeah, good jump though on the Vindicator, again using that combo of Pebbles and or not Pebbles, but Behemoth and Sandwraith with Empath even inside to show.
Yeah,
so.
That's a really strong combo with the Empath and the Sandwraith, dishing out a lot of physical as well as magical damage. And he actually bought the Firebrand and sold it, so
okay.
maybe he's having some second thoughts on that item pickup. As Chowli is gonna work towards the Astrolabe. I think it's fine, but it's kind of maybe he should have bought it instead of Tablet first, since Astrolabe has a huge early game impact, and now it's kind of tapering off since it's going towards the mid game, or we're in the mid game, so the Astrolabe is not gonna be that impactful. Oh, Pebbles tossing it back Midas.
Yeah, trying to get a quick kill there, but now Pebbles, he's in a lot of trouble. He does pop the Shrunken Head, but he's really up here. However, they are going to get the rack, so ultimately pretty good for Evil Corporation here no matter what happens. Now Pebbles is going to be killed with that said. He got Parasite avoiding the pitfall, but Samurai sitting on top of him. The fissure block a little bit, well, it's good overall. So they kill Parasite, they get a couple of kills there. But again, getting the melee racks, overall pretty good for ECX, and it looks like Midas did actually buy back there.
Ooh, Vindicator.
Oh, that could really be big here. They're able to secure this, actually. 2 seconds on the final chapter, by the way. It's not going to matter at that point. So, great lockdown. Beautiful catch by Midas.
Yeah.
Yeah, see him
and
there.
Imbapigu could have ported for Chowli top lane if he... But it's really hard, but if you think about it, the Sandwraith could have ported for the support since he already knew the Vindicator was dead, since the 4 heroes from WOP Dash was already there, so he could have gotten another kill. But it's really hard to keep track of everyone on the map and stuff like that, but it's just would have been nice, I guess, if he got that kill as well.
Could have capitalized there, but yeah, it ends up pretty solid overall. Look at Samurai's choice, by the way.
Yeah,
what he goes
the
for.
I don't know. I guess it's fine against Warbeast since there kinda has to be someone hitting the Warbeast on. Oh, as he's gonna get caught here.
No! Oh, the Chucks got screwed up right there from Pebbles. A rare mistake from Matthias. And Sandwraith gets away. I don't know, that seemed just so odd. His positioning right there. He had the free Chuck. For some reason, he kind of walked backwards first.
Yeah.
And then just whiffed it.
Yeah, it's when you don't have the range on the Chuck, so he was trying to shock back, but it was just out of range, so his hero walks back towards the... Oh, Parasite's getting B-healed.
Yeah, he was actually trying to secure the kill onto Sandwraith, but he just came up short, and now Parasite will barely live, actually. Good job by the Hellborn team realizing that more was coming. Not worth sticking around, so... Yeah, the fact that those Sandwraith got out of there, the rest are good, and that was definitely big for WOP Dash to secure that all. But I still look back at the middle lane here, and again, the melee racks being destroyed. It's definitely a big deal after all of that, after we look at everything that just happened right there. But I do think we're definitely seeing even, not that it's a surprise necessarily like I was getting at in the early game, but yeah, Vindicator is not a flash farming carry. He's not one that's going to be, really sitting up the GPM. He's more of a get to that mid game and be a strong team fight presence carry hero. But his goal per minute is not really that great, especially being the hard carry here. So
yeah,
that's a concern for ECX.
Yeah, I guess it's more they're looking to farm the Warbeast and just use Vindicator as a... I guess he can dish out a fair amount of damage, but they're gonna look to really farm up this Warbeast to be able to take that carry role later into the game. But the GPM charts really reflects Sandwraith. He's the one. He's really snowballing now and doing well. So that's kind of scary if you're ECX, since your heroes timing, window timing, in the game has kind of passed. Parasite was stronger a bit earlier, the same strength. He's not really progressing in his potency, so to say, and Pebbles as well. So the Sand Wraith is really going to be getting that next item, and he's going to be really, really scary. As ECX, they don't really have that scary hero. I guess they have good farm on all the heroes, but they're kind of tapering off here, it looks like, since Warbeast isn't able to take off. So he can't really... I think it might be troublesome if Warbeast doesn't get that next item now, or gets up into those Sand Wraith, like maybe 400-500 GPM, just to be able to contest this Sand Wraith in those fights. So it's kind of scary now if you're ECX, I think.
I mean, you really said it from the beginning of the draft that this is going to be a case of the Hellborn team. It's a tough team to push against. I mean, having a Rax killed already, that's where it's actually decent for ECX. But if WOP Dash is able to kind of turtle this even and prevent, obviously, ECX from really getting another Rax especially, and yeah, another 15 minutes, 20 minutes even, this is definitely potentially going to look really good for a WOP Dash here, actually, and what they can do. Oh, middle? Is that the real?
That's an illusion.
No. That is an illusion. And actually, the background over here is Henry. He's going in with that Shrunken End. They get the quick pick on a Rhapsody. Vindicator, final chapter already used. He's trying to kite this Sand Wraith, but he can't. He just can't escape. The Frostwolf Skull just too strong, and he wasn't really getting the support there, unfortunately. Background over here, Parasite gets a pick, as Gladiator and Midas are going to fall, but now Parasite trying to get some revenge onto him, and it looks like they may end up securing it here. Yes, they will. The Shockwave used, but definitely locks him in place to allow Sand Wraith to come in and secure that kill. So, yeah, we definitely are seeing this transition now of this game where WOP Dash, they are ahead here. And, I mean, that's just evident now in these fights and the way they're going. Even with that jump from Pebbles, to be fair, it was an illusion, but it is really looking good for WOP Dash now because of the Sand Wraith.
Definitely. Yeah, he's just so strong now. He's just has the empath inside of him, and then he just walks around in the fights, and no one can man up on him, because the side of ECX, they don't really have that. Warbeast doesn't have that farm on the same. He's not even close to the same level as the Sand Wraith. So, and on top of that, the empath inside of him is just too much damage, and they can't really fight him one-on-one. So they're gonna have to somehow try to kite him, or. But that's the Frostwolf makes it harder, so we'll see how to try to address that Sand Wraith in the fights.
Yeah.
But this far it's not looking good.
Yeah, somehow lock him down without without the teammates helping enough is going to be the big key, but obviously a lot easier said than done here. So, in fact, speaking of that, I wouldn't be surprised if WOP Dash. Now I know the farm around Sand Wraith isn't necessarily that great, but getting something like the Storm Spirit would no doubt be huge here for several players. And it looks like, I mean, there are a couple Luminous Prison with that Midas, with that Gladiator, so wouldn't put it past those turning into that.
Yeah.
Coming up here.
Hex is also so good, so it's it's hard to see what item Midas is gonna go for. And the Gladiator is probably gonna go for the Storm Spirit, simply because it doesn't have the portal key. So the Hex with the portal key is really, really good, since you can initiate with it. But Gladiator is going to play more of that stay back, passive role, just want to get in a good ultimate, maybe save someone with using W on some hero of the E6 lineup, and just staying back, playing defensive, saving his teammates. So he's probably going to look towards the Storm Spirit, and the Midas is going to get the Hex, more offensive item choice.
Speaking of item progression, Sand Wraith, something was, I think it's on the courier. I think he just actually was full here inventory. Anyways, I think he got a Dancing Blade that I saw purchased. So yeah, he's not going the Wrestle Stone at all. That's not even something he's thinking about at this time. Instead, going more of this combat style of I don't need two ultimates, I just need the one, and I can right-click everyone down throughout it. So
yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense since he has the empath. That kind of boosts his fighting ability. So, I guess going the more of fighting Sand Wraith is fine, or even good this game. So, I guess it makes a bit of sense. Oh,
this
Pebbles
is a
here.
good find. Pebbles is enough damage. Oh, one more auto attack. actually had the kill, but is not successful. He had the Rev Ford put down. They saw him running over here. They happened to catch him, but
No.
not enough.
One thing to point out, though, is that every hero in this game picked up the Shrunken as almost their first or second item. And those Shrunkens are gonna get pretty low now. The sand rate is down to 5 seconds. Vindicator has 9, so he hasn't really used it. Pebble 7, Orbit 7. So the magic damage from Behemoth and Gladiator and Midas is definitely gonna come into play here. Since they have those low Shrunken durations.
Oh, that makes
and
sense.
As well, Sandwraith with the 5-second Shrunken, he probably want to tank up now, I guess the Wing Bow is one form of tanking up, but maybe a Heart after that, I wouldn't be surprised to see. Partly because Imba Pingu loves Heart, and it just makes the hero so tanky that it's going to be hard to kill even though he doesn't have Shrunken.
Yeah, and he's dealing so much damage. It's not like he really needs enhanced damage at this point. So yeah, I definitely think something like that Heart wouldn't be out of the question for sure. So I think he just got the Wing Bow finished actually, as he's returning back to base right here. So gonna have now that full Wing Bow even as there we go. Empath sitting right next to him. They're looking like they may try to go for a play here,
Behemoth smoked in E6 Woods, so he's trying to find someone, and maybe they could make a kill, but E6 is on the left side of the map, so he's not going to find anyone for the time being.
Yeah, he's being patient here. Now, Vindicator's running over into the jungle a little bit at least. So, but you can tell ECX, they're definitely aware that something is up here, something maybe that they're trying to do, what we see them trying to do here. So they're really just sticking together for the most part. Now this is going to open up Kongor, of course, for WOP Dash, as they're starting to do it. But you see Behemoth, again, just being very patient with this. Has a ward aside on the uphill over here. If Parasite or probably Parasite's going to be the one that goes up. So now what? There's a tablet Pebbles. He's trying to chase. There's an ultimate from Sandwraith. Now final chapter was used.
He poured it in on the Vindicator.
Oh, he did, actually. Wow, I didn't even catch that back there. Quick kill, look at that. He just tears through Rhapsody as well, so 2 kills just like that. Vindicator doesn't have enough for a buyback either. Pebbles, he once again is going to pour it out. But clearly, this Sandwraith is just too much to handle for ECX this game. And they're also going to get Parasite, and nobody's dead on the side of WOP Dash. Hat trick for Sandwraith.
Yeah, it's just completely wrecking. They have nothing to address him, and it doesn't look like they're gonna get something that soon. I think Imbaboy is going for the Resto Stone, seeing as he has the Arcana. I wouldn't really see a reason to go the Hellflower. That doesn't really make sense to me, so probably the Resto Stone. It's good with Shrunken as well, but he's just dying to the Sandwraith, pouring in on him every fight.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I didn't even catch that until I saw it pop up. You mentioned that really at the end, and I thought he actually got stopped from porting in, but sure enough, no, he went right on to Vindicator. It seems like that's clearly their target. I mean, every time Vindicator is anyone visual, then they're jumping him, and he's dying shortly after. So, but that's it's the great way to deal with a lot of carries really for the most part, of course, but. Especially Vindicator, he really is reliant on being able to get that totem down, activating that final chapter, especially allow him to buy time to turn it. The Shrunken Head, it still has 9 seconds on it. He's only been able to use it once here for the last 10 so minutes he's had it, so.
Yeah, maybe a Nullstone would have been better. In hindsight, of course.
True.
A Nullstone would have been good since he wouldn't die to the Sandwraith. But again, Nullstone, it doesn't really provide that much except not dying to Sandwraith. It's not really a good damage item. I guess it's a decent bit of survivability, but it doesn't really provide the farm either, so it's kind of iffy to go to Nullstone. But it's definitely a problem with the Vindicator just not being able to escape from the Sandwraith. He can't do anything. It doesn't matter if he uses his Shrunken because he just goes down to like 5 auto attacks from the Sandwraith. That's gonna do like 350 plus physical damage with the empath inside of him. So hitting really fast as well. And it's hard for Vindicator to do something. Chowli is gonna have to stay close to him and maybe save him with the protective melody, but it hasn't. He like can't even react because Imbaboy dies too fast in those fights. At least the last fight, so it's really a problem.
Yeah, and even with that, I mean, the Rhapsody doesn't have a portal key or anything like that. Not that that would matter, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess with Sand Wraith, he would be able to stop it anyway. So that's where the tablet probably is a better choice anyways. But yeah, it's definitely not easy. Yeah. And they are finding that out if for whatever reason they weren't aware of that in the earlier part of this game. But Sand Wraith, another 2,000 gold saved up. They've just taken over the Legion jungle here, so the control well in their favor. Token for 2.5 minutes really about on Sand Wraith here, but they're going to just push the secondary at least. See if they try to really go into the base here yet or not. I don't think that they're in a hurry necessarily, so doesn't seem like it.
Sand Wraith still has another. He rebought the Shrunken to have a 10-second Shrunken now, so that's going to be really hard to deal with. And yeah, he has another item slot, so they're not in a hurry. Although he does have 3k gold saved up, he could opt to save for the buyback post haste, but yeah, they don't have to push anytime soon. They're not forced to do anything this game. As Imbaboy actually sold his Arcana because he knew that he couldn't go the Resto Stone because he would just die to Sand Wraith every fight. So he's gonna now try to tablet himself from the Sand Wraith to get away and then pop the Shrunken and just run.
Huh. I'm looking at... he must have bought something. Oh, Sand Wraith, by the way, where's he going? He's bottom lane Rhapsody. That's a free kill every time for him, so that'll be one down. And now where do they go from here? We'll get the pick off on a Parasite, too. Over here in the jungle. That'll... Oh, the puzzle box. Oh, well, that was funny, at least.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, it ends up being a 2-for-1, I guess, but still, you got WOP Dash feeling very good after that. And now going to push into the base, probably. A token, another minute remaining here for Sand Wraith.
They don't have their cooldowns, though, so we'll see how it goes. True. I mean, it's probably a good play to go for the high ground, but yeah, they don't have their cooldowns, so we'll see if E6 might be able to... They have 45 seconds of Parasite dead, and I don't know, he does not have a buyback actually, so we'll see if they can turn that into a lane of racks or something like that.
Yeah, you mentioned that he got rid of the Arcana on Vindicator. I'm trying to figure out, like, he must have something that he bought then, because, man, maybe he's just not... Yeah, he's only 270 gold per minute. I guess he overall is doing pretty poorly, yeah, so maybe that does make sense, but, man, that's... Seeing Imbaboy especially like that, that's not a usual thing, but Sand Wraith, he wants to die right here. He only has 10 seconds on it. Yeah, they're okay, but I was going to say, if you're Legion, I mean, yeah, you can tell they kind of picked up on that, not going to give it to him. And he is just going to let it wear off now in the end, so. Good heads up there by ECX, not killing him actually.
Yeah, they probably timed the Congar kill to the second, so they know the token is out soon, and they don't have to commit since it's just 10 seconds left on the token, so they just can just wait it out.
They save the racks, and again, also a reminder, they do have the middle racks killed in favor of ECX, that is. That's from earlier on in this game, so that's where an advantage still lies for Evil Corporation. And they got that middle creep wave, constantly pushing out as a result of it. But another case of Behemoth, though, they're trying to find somebody over here. That's Parasite, it looks like.
Parasite.
They will catch him yet again. And down goes Parasite. So minus that Mauler, man. It's dealing some good damage to him, but survives this time. Another nice pick, though, from the Hellborn side here. Sand Wraith, oh, wait, there's the Behemoth's Heart. There you go.
Yeah. So he's pretty much unkillable.
Yep.
And they have the Null Stone on the Behemoth now for the Vindicator ultimate, and that's a really good pickup, so he can't get interrupted and he can do as he please with his ultimate. I'm kind of surprised to see the Storm Spirit on Midas. I don't think that's necessary. Oh, as they're going in here.
Also, that had to be miscommunication of some sort. You saw Pebbles chucked in Sand Wraith, but then Vindicator didn't do anything to react to it, really. Now, Vindicator He's on the run. He pops the final chapter, but Shrunken Head's now coming out. He's just going to be chased down yet again. Imba Boy just literally can't do anything in these fights. It's an immortal, by the way, also for Imba Pingu at 15-1-7 now. There's the vote to concede. ECX realizing here that it is just way too strong and too much to handle. So WOP Dash takes game number 1 over Evil Corporation here behind some great Sandwraith there of Imba Pingu. So great comeback. You can definitely call it somewhat. I mean, again, they lost to Rax at like 25 minutes or so when they ended up winning it. So well played. Final thoughts on game 1 there, Ula?
I think just Imba Pingu stepped up like the man he is, just taking control over that game. I think it was kind of a misplay on E6, not knowing that Sandwraith would kill the Vindicator every fight, and Vindicator couldn't really do anything about that, so I think that was a big factor as well. They not being able to address the Sandwraith with having the easy killable Vindicator on the team. And then as well, they had the timing. ECX really had the mid-game timing, where Pebbles was really scary, Parasite with Puzzle 3 was really scary, and Vindicator was also scary. So they could have maybe taken a little bit more advantage of that, but it was just well played from Imba Pingu there on the Sandwraith.
It was definitely fun to watch, and again, especially when you get a result like this, always a little bit shocking in a sense, but yeah, to not make excuses. Obviously, ECX not their full 5, but still, it's not